Welcome to Pop Culture Problems. I'm your host, John Oderman, and I'm here with Josh. I have a confession to make.
What?
I have a giant crush on you.
Wow. I thought I thought you were like adding like a little parentheses name for me, like, and I'm here with Josh. I have a giant confession to make, Nichols. You know what I mean? Like how you put the little quotes from
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were doing. But now it's just awkward.
Well, I'm sorry.
I just think...
But, you know, we're talking about celebrity crushes today, and I just feel like it's best to just get my cards on the table.
Well, I think it's good, too. I'm just... Is this the first time your wife will be hearing about it during this episode?
I think so.
Okay, that's... Surprise, honey! I love Josh. He's my crush. Celebrity crushes. Yeah,
well, it's easy to have a crush on you because we're basically the same person, so maybe that just speaks to my narcissism. I don't know.
I think that's true. Is it bad to love yourself? Like, is it bad to be that... Like, I think there's some narcissistic tendencies that are bad, but I think when you love yourself, it only kind of affirms that you're okay with yourself. You know, some people that have their self-loathing and they don't like themselves and they think less of themselves, like, that's bad. But if you're the opposite, people say that you're narcissistic and that's bad too. There's no happy medium. We can't win. The world's out against us, John. That's all I'm saying. It's the world's out against us. So, celebrity crushes.
And proof of that? Yeah. We've never met any of our celebrity crushes.
That is true. Celebrity crushes are things that I think everybody has a celebrity crush or has had in the past. And I think that, well, first of all, I want to know, do you have like a first celebrity crush? Like,
I think they're like different. I think and I think everybody has their different eras of celebrity crushes, like in their life.
Yeah.
I would. My first ever would have to be probably Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Really?
Kelly Kapowski. And I know you hate Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah, well, I don't hate Kelly Kapowski. I just didn't. You know, I didn't see the allure that everybody else saw. I wasn't enamored by her. I did not hear her siren call. She did not do it for me. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. Like in any way, shape, or form.
You have no idea.
You're like one of like the only people that I've ever heard say that.
Okay, I guess. Like I guess I just don't see her as being like all that attractive.
All that and a bag of potato chips.
Wow, that's getting old school there. You're bringing it back, and that's what I like to see.
What about you?
To see us reminiscing. I'm trying to think back, and I'm thinking like little boy Josh. I'm talking like
little boy John, first crush, not Kelly Kapowski, Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Okay, yeah, Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Yeah, she was
a babe on a number of levels.
She was cute. I'm gonna go with two celebrity crushes, if we can call them crushes, because cartoon characters, you know, I don't know if they're in that realm, but if I had to pick a cartoon crush, and I honestly would change that answer today. I would say I don't know why I had that crush, but Jessica Rabbit.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why.
And like I don't think like I would not pick her today as a celebrity crush, but I think because
that's like, understandable on like a purely little boy level, though.
Yeah, but I would say real person celebrity crush, like real human. You know, when MTV became popular and they would televise a Madonna music video, she was like a sex symbol of the day. And so I think it was hard to see Madonna on TV and not think, well, she's cute because she wore so little.
See, Madonna's always gross. I've always been kind of... I've never really thought she was really that great.
Well, I don't think she's... I think that at the time... I think it's in some ways a perception thing. Like, because in the time, like, everybody thought, like, she was all that in a bag of potato chips kind of thing. And she kind of had this... similar to kind of how, you know, girls sometimes like the bad boy. They want the biker with the tattoos. It's, you know, you get that. She was kind of like that equivalent, I think, for some people. And so I kind of remember when MTV was, getting big and during that time frame, and they started doing more music videos, and they were just, it was the thing to watch. It was one of those things that parents didn't want you to watch MTV. They didn't want you to be, watching the music videos and stuff because it was corrupt you.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
and it's kind of that forbidden
forbidden
thing,
fruit. Yeah,
forbidden fruit. Yeah. So maybe that was kind of an 80s crush, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell.
I want to go back to touch on Daphne from Scooby-Doo for a second.
You'd like to touch on Daphne from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah. It's kind of
Shall
funny.
I leave you two alone?
As somebody that's been to like comic book conventions and kind of a pop culture aficionado, or at least self-styled pop culture aficionado, I'm fairly familiar with the art of cosplay.
Okay.
Daphne, like, strangely absent from cosplay. Like, there's not a lot of cosplayers that like do Daphne as cosplay. There's a strange preponderance, though, of Velma from Scooby-Doo cosplay.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
And it's not like straight up like Jinkies nerdy Velma. It is like they try to like sexualize Velma.
See, I think that's one thing that they do in general with Hollywood. Like, I mean, in Halloween, like the costumes, like everything is overly sexualized. And I think you can make anything kind of in that, like, if you take a supermodel and paint her blue and put a blonde wig on her, I'll be like, oh, Smurfette, look at how cute she is. You're like,
yeah,
you can overly sexualize anything like that. I think it's from strictly a crush standpoint. I think a lot of times it is very superficial that way, and it is very subjective or objective even, because when you're walking down the street and somebody catches your eye, you're not like, boy, look at the personality on that guy or that girl. You're strictly going by attractiveness, and
it's totally shallow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, because you know nothing about them, but you don't have the opportunity of knowing about them, unless you've gotten to know them, and then that becomes a different thing. So once you've gotten to know a person's personality, etc. So with TVs and movies, I think those characters are so one-dimensional almost that you have physical appearance and the repetitive type of lines that they're given either for the hour and a half or, every 20 minutes repeated. You know what I mean? So it's, it's not a good, we're literally being just gross humans right now. We're just like, let's just talk about the people who we think are hot,
Well, I mean, but we are, but I think like it's something that people can relate to.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, because everybody had their celebrity crushes, and if we had a woman on here with us, she'd be willing to talk to us about how she thought Zach Morris was super babe when she was growing up.
I think so. I don't think we're bad people, but I think looking at how celebrity crushes manifest, it seems to be something that is maybe more a teenager thing. Like it's a coming of age thing, But I remember, thinking girls were cute when I was younger than that. So was I just a bad little kid, or is that, because most people, it's when they're a teenager, they're like, boy, so and so is cute. Like there's, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird.
That's a good question. When does cute become like an insult?
Yeah. Like, what do you mean, like cute?
Well, like. When does cute become the thing that you say like about someone that you don't necessarily think is attractive? You know what I mean? Oh, they're cute.
Like, so like hot between cute?
They're cute.
Like
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they're cute. Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, and there's a certain similar to how we talked about the bad boy thing. You know what I mean? There's that whole girl next door kind of like reminiscent of more like and I'm using males in this instance, like the real man's ideal woman that is attainable. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like sometimes for me, it's not attractive if you, as a crush, if they're so out of your league that it's not possible that you would ever be able to date that person.
Yeah, see, like,
and so it's grounding it a little bit.
Yeah, see, like my wife has no problem with like, I wouldn't call it an obsession, but I'm a big fan of Alexandra Daddario. She was in the Percy Jackson movies. She was in the new Baywatch movie. But
it's Alexander what?
Daddario.
Zagardio?
Daddario.
That's a...
Okay, all right.
What was she?
You're not familiar with her at all,
No,
I guess.
I'm not.
But she's incredible. But it's like my wife is totally cool with that because she knows it's perfectly unattainable. Like there's no possibility.
Oh,
so
it's
there's no
better if it's unattainable.
Yeah, see, because like if I was saying that about somebody that like I know that was like down the street, like she's really a babe. Like there would be a problem there. But but like acknowledging someone's like appeal that you're never going to meet and you have no chance of ever meeting.
Yeah, that's true.
Is like it's. I think it's okay because you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of times it's kind of. I think in relationships,
Jennifer Lawrence would be another example.
See, I'm not a.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you a perfect example of like this kind of weird. I think guys get a bad rap sometimes. I think guys are in this. You're pigeonholed into only thinking about one thing, and it's the Goyles. It's women. That's all we think about. And I recall I really like the movie Ex Machina with Alicia Vikander, and I think she's a decent looking girl. Like, I mean, she's cute. And I remember wanting my girlfriend to watch it and saying like, hey, I really like this movie. I think it's really good. And in the last like 5 minutes of the movie, there's a scene where she is topless for like a few seconds. It's fitting within the plot.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing about it. And we watched the entire, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hour movie. And in the last 5 minutes, that scene pops up and she turns to me and she's like, oh, now I know why you like this movie. And I'm like, really? Like, no, that's not the reason I like that movie. Like, and why would I want you to watch me watch that movie if that's what I liked? Like, why wouldn't I just say, oh, no, you wouldn't like that movie and then watch it on my own?
You keep it to yourself.
Yeah, and so I think guys get bad raps with that, where it's, no, that's not all we think about. It's a byproduct. I just don't think maybe women are as vocal about those crushes, perhaps, and maybe that's sexist. I don't know. Maybe
maybe that does shine a light on kind of the sexism of this conversation. And
which way are we bad guys? Or are we good guys? I don't know. It just shines light.
Yes,
we're a beacon of light. So. Okay, so that was your kind of earliest crush. You were talking about like Saved by the Bell, possibly little Daphne. I recall, growing up, like you had like those actresses that almost dictated that to be crushes. Like we talked in an episode about. Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah, they were basically cast because
she is cast in that role, and I think with American Pie,
she's the bombshell, the sex pot.
And in American Pie, it was set up that you almost, as a teenage boy, put yourself in the shoes of Jason Biggs and said, he's able to attain this, really attractive girl kind of thing, and it kind of, I think that was kind of an attractive element of that, but it could have been anybody. Just seeing that he was able to get into a relationship with that girl or something like that. And so, like, she dictated to be a sex symbol or to be a possible crush. I think the same is true for, like, Denise Richards.
Yeah.
There were some people that just kind of...
They were cast for that purpose,
They were cast into that. I think more of a maybe recent-er crush, Olivia Wilde. I think is a very
I can see that.
Girl.
I can appreciate that.
I think one of the reasons the first,
but like super intelligent too. That's the thing about Olivia Wilde that's amazing.
Absolutely, and that's what I was going to get to. Is the first time I ever saw her was on the show House MD, and she was a very intelligent girl on that show.
Yeah,
and I find excellence attractive. I find an intelligent woman and attractive because it's somebody to go to toe to toe with. And I'm not saying that I'm that smart. I'm just saying it gives me somebody to have lively discussions with, and it's intellectually stimulating, And so I think all the better that she's also cute. I mean that's not so bad.
I think we jumped a little far ahead there though. What about teenage Josh? Where was his Josh? Where was Josh's head at there?
Oh boy! I mean, you got.
I've got the slam dunk answer for most men my age. Jenny McCarthy.
Yes, Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah,
she was.
Yeah.
Oh, Jenny McCarthy
singled out Jenny McCarthy on MTV. Yeah. I mean, you're watching that show not because you want to see like these guys act like idiots or these girls act like idiots, but you're watching it for Jenny McCarthy.
No, you're reading it for the articles. I mean, that's yeah. I remember, I put Jenny McCarthy and like Denise Richards in like that same category.
Yeah, but
almost.
Jenny McCarthy never really had like an acting career.
Well, yeah, but they were kind of in that same time frame. Where
Absolutely, yeah.
I remember, and I am not a sports guy.
Uh-huh.
So why I would ever see an image from Sports Illustrated, swimsuit edition, maybe.
Okay,
but
sure.
I mean, like I would never pick up Sports Illustrated, but I remember in the '90s there was an issue of Sports Illustrated. I think obviously the swimsuit edition where Tyra Banks.
Oh, Tyra Banks was
I remember,
babe.
I mean, total babe.
Still is to this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's no Olivia Wilde.
Well.
I mean, I'm fickle. I move on, Yeah, I couldn't see her intelligence on the Sports Illustrated cover. Olivia Wilde proved it with her medical expertise in House MD. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
You need to have a little bit of that. So I recall Tyra Banks being attractive.
And Olivia, if you're listening, Josh is serious right now. I can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, I mean I'm serious. No one's more smart. No one's smarter and more attractive than my girlfriend, though. I mean, she's your
real crush now.
Yeah, she's my real crush. I only mention these examples to show you, because
how they pale in comparison to her.
Exactly, and other people
you were just saying that before we went on the air.
And other people are probably hearing those and being like, "Oh, that's my crush too," but then they're going to be jealous of me because of my girlfriend. So that's how it goes. Gwen Stefani. Really? No.
Yeah.
I
feel like she's grown on me as she's gotten older. I feel like she's gotten better looking.
Really?
I don't know why that is.
Do you have?
But she's grown on me in the last couple of years.
Do you have those fine wine crushes where it's kind of like? Do you have a crush that you think is atypical? Or is atypical the right word? But
an actress that I always really really thought was great was Julia Stiles.
Okay.
And she's somebody that's kind of like disappeared a little bit. You don't see her a lot, but I remember loving her.
Yes, you do. And this is the little inside joke between us. She's pretty much in Parenthood, the TV show. The Julia, I think, the lawyer.
Yeah, Erica
Christensen.
Looks
exactly
Erica
like her.
Christensen. No.
Yes, she does. Here's the thing. I said to Sarah, this girl looks like Julia Stiles. So I go to Google and I search the girl's name, who the
Erica
actress,
Christensen.
right?
Yeah.
And literally a blog came up that was comparing her and Julia Stiles, and they had side-by-side images for the whole blog and how they look like each other. So I'm not the only one in the whole world that thinks they look exactly alike. So there. I lost my train of thought, John. I got derailed.
Well, somebody that maybe is a little out of the mainstream in terms of celebrity crushes.
Yeah, so I have one.
Who's that?
Megan Mullally.
Okay, sure.
Oh, Megan Mullally. I think Megan Mullally,
and that's probably for like good, deep reasons. There's no shallowness in that selection. She's a beautiful woman, but she's also like super talented, funny.
She is extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Megan Mullally. She is so funny, and she has kind of an off-kilter, non-mainstream. She's not. I'm not gonna say she's not ladylike, but she definitely has kind of a more crude,
it's rougher,
comedy
yeah.
And kind of attitude. And she's also a fabulous singer. She's been on Broadway. Like she's like a quadruple threat. I don't know if she dances.
Threat.
I know she acts. I know she sings. She dances on Broadway. and she's also really attractive. So it's a quadruple tret.
And she's married to Ron Swanson.
What is tret? Why do I keep saying tret?
And she's married to Ron Swanson.
That's true. Ron Swanson. Triple threat.
He's kind of a celebrity crush of mine. Nick Offerman.
Give me all the eggs and bacon that you have. Nick Offerman. Josh Nichols. I love Michael Scott. He used to quote people. He'd write a quote on the board. You know, the hyphen, the person's name, and then hyphen Michael Scott.
He
quoted
yes.
the person quoting. That was pure brilliance. Michael Scott, not a crush. Not a crush. Okay, give me this. Let's just talk for a subset about the people that are supposed to be crushes. Like Ross and Rachel on Friends. Rachel was supposed to be like
Jennifer Aniston.
I never thought Jennifer Aniston was like.
I actually just had this debate with a group of friends.
Really?
About Jennifer Aniston. And I feel like Jennifer Aniston is one of those that's aged like a fine wine.
Oh, yeah. She really hasn't changed much.
She hasn't changed a lot, but I think like the older you get and like the more you're able to maintain that, like the more attractive you become.
Without getting botched as well.
Yeah,
I mean, that's one thing. But like that, I mean, that kind of, she was put in that situation because it was a celebrity, like it was character crush, and it was like, will they, won't they? Same thing with The Office. That's what kind of brought it up, like Jim and Pam.
That's one. And Jenna Fisher, I think her name is Pam Beasley. Like that's a character that was supposed to be, I think, like under the radar attractive, but like had kind of a crush on her just because of like the character.
Oh, she's no Megan Mullally.
No.
I mean, I didn't.
Well, not for Josh, but
I didn't have. I had a crush on Dwight, maybe. I mean,
Rainn Wilson is
Dwight was the whole package.
Yes,
hey, he had a bead farm.
He had assets. He had
assets.
Yes.
Good guy.
Yes.
Another celebrity crush, Maggie Smith. Ages like a fine
the Dame.
The Dame. Well,
the Dame Maggie Smith.
Here's the thing I'll say about Maggie Smith, and I jest a little bit about the crush. Like I mean, obviously she would not be the typical A-list celebrity beauty that you might think of, but she's also one of those individuals that she doesn't seem to age.
Yeah.
Like she seems to have looked the same for. I mean, usually, like, let's say for instance, you'd see me every day of your life, and I gained 1 pound every day for 100 days. Like, I kind of, it's a frog in the pond. You kind of see that I'm slowly getting that. If all of a sudden you haven't seen me for a year and I gained 100 pounds, I'd be like, whoa, what happened? And I think Maggie Smith, it's so interesting because you don't see her every day, but she seems the same.
Helen Mirren is like that too.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
Like, where they just don't seem to age.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting. Well, what I find unattractive, actually, is extreme plastic surgery.
That and I mean, we talked about the plastic surgery, but I think the thing that like I can think like an actress is great, awesome, and then they'll say something, and it's you are totally unappealing to me now.
Yeah, and that's the whole scenario of, you don't walk down the street and say, boy, look at the personality on that person. Look at the intelligence on that guy. You don't look at that. And you just see that superficial exterior, very shallow appearance. And once you hear them talk or you get to know them, I mean, you can have a relationship with somebody who is not a supermodel by the standards of the supermodel industry. But as you get to know them, you fall in love with their personality.
See, and I think this is where we can kind of bring this somewhat full circle and make it a little deeper.
Oh,
we're talking about how you notice like those shallow features.
Yep.
But and that's why it's a celebrity crush. What you fall in love with is the person.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And there have been like celebrities that I'm like, yeah, okay. And then like you hear them talk and like you listen to and you see them act and stuff like that, and then they really grow on you, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's why Megan Mullally is in my top 5.
Yeah.
Megan Mullally. Come on.
Do you have a 5 that you and Sarah have a 5 that you get a pass with?
I don't think so. I think number 1, I don't think Sarah has one person to add to her list.
Okay.
Because I'm just so great. So she
Wow.
wouldn't know.
Okay. Jeez.
I just don't think she thinks.
She doesn't think that way? Yeah.
I think one guy, me, is all that she could bear to handle. You know, I mean, I think she thinks I would rather just have a night alone than a pass.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for me, as she's probably allows me to have a 200 list because it's not possible. Like it's never going to happen. I think the only one she really fears is probably Megan Mullally because, man,
if Megan Mullally knocked on the door right now and she's like, "Josh, let's go. I left Nick."
Yeah. Well, and see that's the thing. Like she knows I'm just waiting for Nick to leave, and then I'll start sending letters and flowers and the whole works and condolences. So,
What if Nick Offerman asked you to leave?
If Nick Offerman asked me to leave who?
Sarah.
So that he could be with Sarah?
Yeah, no, so that you could be with Nick Offerman.
Yeah, so
you
I could be with Nick Offerman?
Yeah.
That would get me closer.
I think
to
I might
Megan.
go.
That would get me closer to Megan, so maybe. See,
because there'd be whiskey and meat.
Okay, where does crush cross the line to stalker weirdo? You know what I mean? Like,
I think when you start sending letters and stuff.
Okay, we're joking.
Like
right now.
when you try to act on those, like that attraction, that's when it gets weird.
Well,
when you're like trying to get a hold of them in some way, shape, or form, like that's where you cross the line from this is a celebrity crush to obsession.
Hey, look, I think Megan really liked that replica doll I made of her out of my own hair and toothpaste. I think she liked it. For real. Creeper.
Now, why do you think that? Because she didn't send it back and you didn't hear from the cops?
She must have it on her mantle. Little weirdo. I think people sometimes take that crush to an extreme because, again, crushes are crushes. Think about if you had a crush in high school. Like, you only acted on that crush in an appropriate way, or you should have. Like where you might ask somebody out or something. But then you also had those crushes that you didn't think were attainable.
Yeah, the unicorns.
Yeah, and you don't want to set yourself up for failure either. You know what I mean? You don't want the embarrassment, the shame of that. So you just kind of step back. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you went after the unicorns.
You just watch them from afar.
You should go unicorn hunting. Do you think that would be probably a bad thing? Unicorn hunting.
Oh, yeah.
It's such an endangered species.
Yeah.
If there was one or two unicorns and you go hunting, and I think PETA would have an issue with that.
Unicorns is something we should have brought up on the cryptozoology episode.
I think so. Hopefully we do this. Hopefully I post this show second, or else people will be like, "What episode?" I don't even know. Actually, I wonder if there's a PETA equivalent for cryptozoologists. And
good
cryptids.
question. Good question.
We're going to have to splice these two episodes together because now it's crossover.
Crossover episode.
Crossover episode. Celebrity Crushes meets cryptozoology. Well, and in some ways, celebrity crushes are cryptids because they're unattainable creatures that may or not exist within my own universe in that way. I might not ever be able to meet or interact with
there's
them.
a good chance that you never will be able to meet them.
Yeah, it's true.
In a meaningful way. You might get like a picture or like a handshake at a convention, but you're not going to probably have a meaningful conversation with these people ever.
But also maybe
about the hair doll.
I might become obsessed in a way where I think I see them. Like I'm like walking around, the mall, and I'm like, "Hey, did you see that? That was so and so."
Yeah, that's a dark night of the soul that I don't want to participate in.
Did you get my hair doll for you that I sent you?
I didn't.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, I'll make you another. I just start taking out clumps of my hair and pasting them together.
Oh, that's why it's patchy right now.
And you just slowly slunk out of the room. Yeah. Disclaimer: don't act on your celebrity crushes. Love them from afar. Let them be the unicorns.
Especially if it's like Daphne from Scooby-Doo. She's not real.
Yeah.
Don't try to act on that one.
You make an interesting point that you didn't actually try to make because you were talking about cartoons. But when you fall in love when you have a celebrity crush, a lot of times you're falling in love with a personality or a character that doesn't. Even an actor.
Valid point.
When they're in an interview setting, they might not be being themselves. They're putting on a facade. You know?
Yeah, they're selling something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you might be falling in love with something that doesn't even exist. You silly, silly man, John. Stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to Pop Culture
I take
Problems.
back everything I said at the beginning of the show. You've shown me the light. I don't actually have a crush on you.
Wow. You'll feel differently once you get the hair doll in the mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to Pop Culture Problems. We will see you next time.